The first time he said it, I thought he was joking. We were sitting in the hospital room. Our baby girl, just hours old, sleeping peacefully beside me. And he was just staring at her. Not smiling. Not emotional. Just staring. Then he said it. She doesn't look like me. I laughed. Because what else do you do in a moment like that? She's literally a newborn, I said softly. Babies barely look like anyone yet. But he didn't laugh. Didn't even smile. He just kept looking at her. Then at me. And that's when I felt it. Something was wrong. I want a DNA test, he said. Just like that. No build-up. No hesitation. The room went silent. For a second. I couldn't even process what I just heard. What? I want to be sure, he said calmly. That she's mine. It didn't feel real. Not the words. Not the moment. Nothing. We had been married for 4 years. 4 years. And this is what he chose to say. Right after our daughter was born. You're joking, I said. I'm not. His voice didn't change. Not even a little. And suddenly, everything felt cold. You think I cheated? I whispered. He didn't answer immediately. And that silence said everything. I just want clarity, he said finally. Clarity. Like I was some kind of question mark. Like our marriage was just uncertain. My chest tightened. Because this wasn't just doubt. This was accusation. Right there. In a hospital room. Next to our child. You don't trust me? I asked. He looked away. And that was enough. That one moment broke something inside me. Because I realized. This wasn't about the baby. This was about what he already believed. And nothing I said was going to change it. So I nodded slowly. Fine, I said. If that's what you want. I paused. Looking at him. Really looking at him. Like I was seeing him for the first time. Then we'll do the test. He nodded. Like it was just another decision. Like it didn't matter. But it did. Because in that moment, I stopped trying to prove anything. And started preparing. For what would happen next. Because deep down, I already knew one thing. When those results come back, they're not just going to prove him wrong. They're going to destroy everything. The test was done the next day. Quick. Clinical. Cold. Just like him. No hesitation. No second thoughts. Like he had already made up his mind. And now. He just needed proof. But what hurt the most wasn't the test. It was how he acted after. He didn't hold her. Didn't look at her the same way. Didn't even try. Like she was already not his. And me? I watched everything. Every small moment. Every distance he created. Every time he chose silence over love. Because this wasn't just doubt anymore. This was rejection. And it wasn't just hurting me. It was hurting her. A newborn. Who had done nothing wrong. Are you really okay with this? I asked one night. He didn't even look up from his phone. I just want the truth, he said. That word again. Truth. Like I was hiding something. Like I had something to confess. I wanted to scream. To argue. To fight. But I didn't. Because something inside me had changed. Something quiet. Something cold. I wasn't trying to fix this anymore. I was watching it. Understanding it. Because the moment those results came back, everything would change. Not just for him. For both of us. 3 days later. The call came. I was in the kitchen, holding her in my arms, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello. Your results are ready, the voice said. Simple. Neutral. But my heart started racing. Because this was it. The moment he had been waiting for. The moment he thought would prove everything. I looked down at my daughter. Sleeping peacefully. Unaware of everything. And I whispered softly. It's okay. Because I wasn't scared. Not anymore. I already knew the truth. The real question was. Could he handle it? I didn't open the results right away. Even though I could. Even though my hands were already shaking. Instead. I waited. For him. Because this wasn't just my moment. This was his. The truth he had been so desperate to find. That evening. He came home late. Like always. Keys dropped on the table. Shoes kicked off. Same routine. Like nothing was different. But everything was. I got the results, I said. He froze. Just for a second. Then slowly turned toward me. His face. Calm. Too calm. Okay, he said. No emotion. No fear. Just expectation. Like he already knew what it would say. Like this was just confirmation. I held the envelope in my hand. Tight. Because suddenly. This felt bigger than I expected. Not just a test. A turning point. Are you sure you want to do this now? I asked. He nodded instantly. Yes. No hesitation. Of course not. Because in his mind. This was already over. I took a breath. Then opened it. The paper felt heavier than it should. My eyes moved across the lines. Words. Numbers. Terms. Until. They landed on the result. And I smiled. Not big. Not dramatic. Just a small, quiet smile. Because I already knew. I looked up at him. He was watching me closely now. Trying to read my face. Trying to predict the outcome. Well, he asked. I didn't answer immediately. I walked closer. Placed the paper in his hand. And stepped back. Read it, I said. He grabbed it quickly. Eyes scanning. Fast. Confident. Until. They stopped. His expression changed. Subtly at first. Then completely. Confusion. Then disbelief. Then. Something else. Something he didn't expect. This doesn't make sense, he muttered. I crossed my arms. Calm. Because now. It wasn't my turn to explain. It was his turn. To understand. He kept staring at the paper. Reading the same line. Over and over again. Like if he looked at it long enough. It would change. But it didn't. It couldn't. Because the result was clear. Probability of paternity, 99.99%. He looked up at me. Eyes wide. Confused. This has to be wrong, he said. I didn't react. Didn't argue. Didn't defend myself. Because I didn't need to anymore. Is it? I asked quietly. He ran a hand through his hair. Pacing now. Agitated. This doesn't make sense, he repeated. She doesn't look like me. There it is, I cut in. That assumption. That belief he held on to so tightly. Based on nothing. Just doubt. Just ego. She's your daughter, I said. Calm. Clear. Final. He stopped moving. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Because now. There was no argument left. No suspicion. No excuse. Just truth. And he didn't know what to do with it. I didn't mean, he started. But I shook my head. No, I said softly. You did. Because words matter. Especially in moments like that. Especially when they break something you can't fix. He looked at me differently now. Not suspicious. Not cold. But uncertain. Like he was trying to go back. To undo everything he said. Everything he believed. But it was too late. Because this wasn't about the test anymore. It was about trust. And once that breaks, it doesn't come back the same. He looked at our daughter. For the first time in days. Really looked at her. And I saw it. That shift. That realization. But it didn't change anything for me. Because I had already changed. Quietly. Slowly. While he was busy doubting me. I was learning something else. How to walk away. He tried to apologize that night. More than once. But I didn't respond. Not the way he expected. I was just confused, he said. I didn't mean it like that. I just needed to be sure. Excuses. All of them. Different words. Same meaning. I stood there, holding our daughter. Listening. But not really hearing him. Because something inside me had already shifted. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just, quietly. While he was questioning me. I was understanding him. And now. I saw everything clearly. You didn't trust me, I said. Not angry. Not loud. Just honest. He looked down. Guilty. Ashamed. I do, he said quickly. But we both knew. That wasn't true. Not when it mattered. Not when it counted. Because trust isn't something you say. It's something you show. And he had already shown me his answer. He stepped closer. I'll fix this, he said. That made me pause. Not because I believed him. But because I realized something. He still thought this was something he could fix. Like a mistake at work. Like something you can correct with effort. But this wasn't a problem. This was a fracture. And fractures don't disappear. They stay. Even when they heal. I'm not angry, I said. And that surprised him. He looked up. Confused. Then what are you? I took a breath. Because this was the part that mattered. I'm done trying to prove myself, I said. Silence. Pure silence. Because now. He understood. This wasn't about the DNA test anymore. This was about what he broke. Before the results even came. And the worst part. He broke it himself. He didn't say anything at first. Just stood there. Like he was trying to find the right words. But there weren't any. Because some moments don't need more talking. They need understanding. And by the time he understood, it was already too late. I'll do better, he said finally. I promise. I looked at him. Really looked at him. The same man I trusted for years. The same man who stood beside me. And still chose doubt. I believe you, I said. That made him pause. Relief crossed his face for a second. Until I finished the sentence. But that doesn't change what you did. His expression dropped. Because now. He realized. This wasn't about convincing me anymore. This was about consequences. I walked past him. Slowly. Calmly. Carrying our daughter. Because for the first time, my focus wasn't on him. It was on her. On what kind of environment she deserved to grow up in. A place with trust. With respect. With certainty. Not questions. Not doubt. I'm not leaving because of the test, I said. Stopping at the doorway. I turned slightly. Just enough for him to hear me clearly. I'm leaving because of the moment you asked for it. Silence. Heavy. Final. Because that was the truth. Not the result. Not the outcome. The moment. The moment he chose doubt over trust.